أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم كما قال عز شأنه كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت وقال كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنام سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد فقد قال الله في كتابه الكريم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا تركنوا إلى الذين ظلموا. We were talking on a new subject that we started last week from Risalatul Huquq of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salatu wassalam. And of course, all those huquq and rights that Imam has mentioned, all of them are based on Quranic teachings, though it is explained by Imam. It is not initiated by Imam or introduced first time by Imam. Anything that we receive from our Aimma alayhi salatu wassalam, originally it is explanation of Quranic ayat. Whatever Allah has said already, they come and explain it in a very eloquent way and very beautiful way. So Risalatul Huquq is one of those explanations of rights that Quran has mentioned in several places in different ways. Of course, Quran was revealed in 23 years, and during this period of time, whenever it was needed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed an ayah or a set of ayat. Sometimes just as instructions, and sometimes based on an incident that happened in the history, and that's why it's called Sha'an Nuzul, the reason for revelation of an ayah. But if we can conclude everything what is mentioned in Quran, we can use just one word, as I have said it many times earlier. One word, adl, justice. It concludes everything what we talk about. And also whatever Imam alayhi salam has mentioned, huquq is originally to keep balance in our life, and we should understand our responsibilities and the duties. Even if we want to learn about ourselves, our own rights, so those rights that are, we can call them our rights, actually are responsibilities for ourselves. So if you want to receive a right for yourself, that particular right is your responsibility. So you do it, you will receive your right by yourself. Then the same thing about other people. Other people, when they pay their rights, you receive your right. When they pay their responsibilities, you will receive your right. When you fulfill your responsibilities, other people receive their rights. This is a system which is interrelated and very much the mechanism of Islamic system of rights is well defined in Quran, but in different way. in this risala, Imam has mentioned it in very organized way. Now see, when the rights of your enemy, Imam was talking about it, remember? And the rights of your friends. So everyone has rights. Why? It is nothing but to teach us the manners of living. How you live in this world, your life should be well organized. So when he talks about rights, actually he is breaking down all those manners that we, or the dealing that we need to deal with anyone, anything or anyone, or even with our own self. So dealings, how to deal with others, how to deal with yourself, how to deal with Allah. Manners, akhlaq. You say, how can I use akhlaq with the enemy? Yes, whatever you do with the enemy, it is akhlaq. Sometimes, not always being polite is akhlaq. No, akhlaq doesn't mean being polite. No, akhlaq means you should act in such a manner which is really appropriate at that time. It is called akhlaq. So Islam, the whole Islam is akhlaq. Islam by itself, the word Islam is submission or peace. Now you see, look today and you will find the truth. Why? Because when Islam talks us this much about peace and justice and akhlaq and fairness and all those things look very good. When you hear them, you say, wow, so good teachings. You read any ayat of Quran, translate the ayah, wow, so beautiful. تعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. Always help one another in goodness and piety, in righteousness, and don't help one another in aggression and in injustice. So good. So everybody, if follows these rules, how is good? كونوا مع الصادقين, always be with truthful. Such all the whole Quran, teachings of Quran, teachings of Rasulullah himself. Islam, name of Islam, submission, peace. So how attractive is this? How good is this? But what is going on practically? Is this a theory? Islam is good, Islamic teachings is good. What is the result of Islamic teachings? Overall, see in the world what is going on. What is Islam? Now Quran says that you should not commit any kind of sin or aggression or any injustice, even شنآن قوم على أن لا تعدلوا ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم. Somebody's hatred or any communities or groups' hatred should not push you or force you to do something which is not fair, injustice. Even with your enemy, be just even with your enemy. This is the bottom line. But where is it? Where is the justice in Islam? No, it is there in Islam. No, we don't see. Because irregular people see Islam means Islamic countries. Now tell them, no, Islam is in the books here. Come here, I will show you what Islam is here in the book. Say, okay, keep it in the book here. You want to see practically what is Islam? Show us somewhere Islam, so we will see what Islam is. Is there anybody can come and say, okay, come here, let me show you these are Islam? See these people and you see Islam? What is Islam? Islam which talks about unity, Islam which says, look, last week that we started was what? And I spoke about وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُم. These Muslims are, the mu'min, are so good that their affairs are based on shura. They resolve all their conflict based on consultation, dialogue, sitting, talking. But what is going on practically on the ground? This is the issue. And this is a big issue. You go somewhere and start talking about Islam and preach. Don't even, just speak about goodness of Islam. So what? No. When I see the news, though, of course, the media is biased. Yeah, you complain against media. This is true. But the media gets one to make it 100. Why they should see somewhere one bad thing that they make it 100? Yes, they make it 100. They have the exaggeration. This is true. Why? Is this Islam? Islam which teaches you, remember I mentioned last time, Imam Ali is saying that he is not ready to take the food of an ant from her mouth. Even though if he was given the 7 continents with all its bounties and its resources. He says, no, I'm not going to do it. Why? Because this is dhulm. This is injustice. An ant has something in her mouth. Take it. She will go and take more again. But you will get this whole world. He said, no, I will reject everything, and I'm not going to do this much of injustice in my life. This is Imam Ali, and this is Islam. But we said this is Islam. Now, what is the justification as to what is going on in the world? How can we explain it to other people? To non-Muslims especially. Maybe you have some ideas to, yes, explain this way, that way. But what we have nothing but to say, yes, look, in all religions, there are good and bad people. The same thing in Islam. But since Islam is a code of life, no religion is code of life. Code of life means Islam speaks about everything, do's and don'ts everywhere. Nothing is out of this parameter of Islamic Sharia, Islamic laws. It's starting from your house to a country and global politics. Everything is under laws. There are do's and don'ts for politicians also. Do this, don't do this. After the Prophet, since Islam was a system, so there was more chance than if you compare it to other religions, more attraction for wrongdoers in this system, in Islamic system. Why? Because attraction of leadership, let's say. Islam has a set rules of leadership. And the leader has his status. So this is what happened actually, that when good, if you see good, so Islam has the best. But if you see the bad and evil, unfortunately, we have to acknowledge it, that Muslims, not Islam, Muslims have the worst people. Yes, worst people. It's not wrong to accept the truth. For example, can you show in any religion, can you show a Yazid? There are very brutal people, but people like Yazid ibn Ziyad. Okay, leave those. This is history. This is history. Yazid ibn Ziyad is history. What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday? One of the companions of the Prophet, who was very pious, and his piety was known to everyone. Even until today, all the historians and the scholars agree that he was the most pious person in his time. Pious. And he was one of the companions of Rasulullah, Hijr ibn Uday. He was killed by Muawiyah. What was the reason why he killed him? He killed him brutally. This is history. Everybody should know. Go on the internet and read a little bit. Should know the history. Muawiyah killed him. Why? Because he disagreed with him in some issues. He said, I don't agree. He said, no, you have to agree. I don't agree. Okay. He said, kill him. And when he was about to be killed, he said, okay, I now can save your life. In just one word can save your life if you want. Your life and these 7 people's life. Among them is his son, teenager, 17 years old. All of you will be saved. Just one word. He said, what is it? He said, just curse Imam Ali. If you curse him, you will be saved. He said, I can curse you 1,000,000 times, but Imam Ali, I cannot do anything. Look, he did not say, I don't curse Imam Ali. Subhanallah. This is the eloquence of the followers of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He could say, I'm not going to curse Imam Ali. It could be taken as an emotional answer. In such a situation, look, the sword, he's sitting under the sword. In a minute, he will be killed. Or in a minute, he can save his life. He can save his life easily. But look, his answer, he said, I'm not going to say anything which causes the wrath of Allah. I'm not going to say anything which causes the wrath of Allah. The history recorded these words. If he had said, oh no, I love Imam Ali, I cannot. So people might say, okay, he was with Imam Ali in his party, in his group. So he loved his, his leader, and he didn't say it because he might be afraid of other people to say, oh, how can you say this to Imam Ali? He said, no, there is no reason to stop. There is no reason to give my life for just denying the curse to Imam Ali alayhi salam. The reason is only one, and it is that whoever curses Imam Ali alayhi salam, whoever is enemy of Imam Ali, he will be subject to the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he gave message instead of just giving emotional answer. He gave a journal message to Muslim Ummah. Briefly, of course, we don't have much time. The question was that how can we today explain to the people what Islam is? Here is Islam. These people, true people, are Islam. Look to these people. And always good people are few. Always, in anywhere you see in history. All the religions agree on that. All religions. Nobody will say, no, good people are more than bad people. The followers of law are more than those who disobey laws. No. Always good people, pious people are always few, very little in number. So if you want to see Islam, since Islam is a system of life, and there is a chances of breaking the law in every single minute of a human life. So more chances, you will see it more. So Muawiyah killed him, killed 8 people with him, and many of them were killed during Salat, and he just finished the Salat and he was injured while they were throwing arrows on them. And he said, no, I'm not going to say this. He said, okay, then kill him because he is not ready to curse Ali. He said, yes, I happily will accept this martyrdom. He was killed. Now today, somebody might say, look, don't talk this against Muawiyah. How can somebody who is a ruler, a big king, he is afraid of 8 people this much that he says, oh, kill them, and he is so much against Ali that he is willing to hear from somebody who is already dying, or of course his prisoner, hear from him curse of Ali. No. How it is possible? No. Muawiyah was even worse than this, what you can think. Okay, leave the history. History is back. You go to the books to read it. Come here today. Look what happened yesterday. As I said, unfortunately, Muslims have the worst people. This is the truth. But they are not Muslims. We don't consider them Muslims. But unfortunately, we have to say, yeah, they say, Shadun la ilaha illallah wa Rasulullah. They read Quranic ayat and kill people. This is really unfortunate for us. It is not for others. This is unfortunate for us, for me, myself. I say I'm a Muslim, and the person who dug the grave of yesterday, look, first destroyed the shrine. This was not enough for them. Now I ask you, I dare anybody can bring someone as a group, as an ideology, not as a person. Yes, as a person you can find it anywhere, but as an ideology, you cannot find such ideology anywhere. That it is not enough for them to kill innocent people. No, this is not enough. This don't satisfy their spirit of brutality. Their ideology is no. Dig this grave, take out the body. And they took the body to unknown place, and they're announcing it. We took the body to unknown place. Look, first of all, subhanallah, this is what truth speaks by itself. Righteousness speaks by itself. It has power. They announced that they took the body. It means body was there after 1400 years. The body was fresh. This miracle should be enough for them to understand the truth. But look the intensity of animosity against the truth, the embodiment of truth, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. How much enmity they have against Imam Ali alayhi salam, which is originally against Islam, against Quran. So when the followers of, and they have brigade, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan brigade, Yazid ibn Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan brigade, the whole names, 3 names. Yes, they have these group, these terrorists. And they did this. with the dead people, with the graves. Who does it? You might find some individual, some crazy person, you might, find someone, yes, he may do it. But as an ideology, can you find it? This ideology, we started with destroying Jannatul Baqi, and today the grave and the shrine of Sayyida Janab Zainab Salamullah alayha is in danger. This is the ideology, and this is unfortunate. But the only thing we can conclude today's discussion by saying that we should give the message to people and should be able to communicate, and because reach out is very much important today. Look, if you don't do something wrong, you should not have a fear. If you are just and fair, with fairness, no fearness. So fair, come out politely, the way Quran speaks, not the way these terrorists explain Quran, the way the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam explain Quran. With the message of Ahlul Bayt, tell them if you want to seek Islam, these people are not Islam at all. They are against Islam. They purposely do it to defame Islam. And they do it in the name of Islam. They do it because we are followers of Tawheed, and this is shirk. So we are destroying idols, astaghfirullah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in such a very painful situation, give us sabr, patience, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punish these terrorists, Yazidis, and the followers of Muawiyah, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ease the problems of mu'mineen around the world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten in the reappearance of our last Imam and keep us among his followers and companions. إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.